The Braves right now in 4th place in the National League West. They're 5.5 games behind division-leading Houston, 2 games behind the 3rd place San Diego Padres, and all the other teams in both divisions are active tonight in games getting underway a little bit later. Mets had great success against the Braves last year and have had overall success against Rick Mahler in his career. Mahler lifetime just 2-5 against the New York Mets. After that opening day win, he has lost his last 4 decisions, and he, of course, would like to get that turned around tonight. In the outfield, Atlanta has Harper, Murphy, and Washington. The infield from 3rd around to 1st is Oberkfell, Ramirez, Hubbard, and Horner. Ozzie Virgil, the catcher, and Rick Mahler on the mound. It'll be Len Dykstra, Wally Backman, and Keith Hernandez due up in the top of the 1st against Rick Mahler. And to tell you all about it, here once again, Bob Neal.
Thank you very much, Pete. Enjoy being with you again tonight. Skip Carey, John Sterling out basketballing it. John will be working on the local Atlanta telecast of the Hawks in Detroit, and Skip will be on our TBS telecast of the Hawks in Detroit, which will follow tonight's baseball game.
We missed you in Los Angeles.
I'm still explaining to my mom where I was. She didn't quite buy the story that I was supposed to still be here. I enjoyed listening to you fellas look for me. Nobody has bought my story yet, so I'm just not going to tell it. I may put it in the book, though. Lenny Dykstra stepped in from the left side of the plate, takes the first pitch from Rick Mahler for a strike, and this game is underway. Lenny Dykstra. To see what he did against the Atlanta Braves last year, had 1 hit against Rick Mahler in 5 appearances against Rick. Count goes even to 1-1. Dykstra got his chance, of course, out in the outfield when Mookie Wilson was injured last year for the Mets. Here's the 1-1 delivery. It's popped out of play to the left side. Lenny Dykstra, just a little guy by most athlete standards today. He's a little over 5'9", weighs about 160. Looks a little like a hockey player, do you think?
I bet he could play it, too. He's a tough little kid.
His family has a hockey background. His uncle, Tony, played for the Rangers, Red Wings, and Blackhawks. And as my favorite hockey announcer, Jiggs McDonald, would say, he fans on the shot. And Lenny Dykstra goes down on strikes.
He doesn't strike out that often. He was really fooled, though, way off stride in that off-speed breaking ball. And now a Rick Mahler nemesis, Wally Backman.
Wally Backman was 11 for 22 against Mahler last year. Here's Wally Backman playing second base tonight, hitting .346 this year. 1 double, 1 triple. No RBIs for Wally. Another left-hander the Braves will be looking at tonight. And that Rick Mahler breaking ball is falling off the table early in this ball game tonight. Rick hoping to get back on track with his 1-4 record. He was at this point last year roughly 4 or 5-0. As you know, Rick won his first 7. Here's the 0-1, and the count goes even at 1-1. It'll be Lenny Dykstra, Wally Backman, Keith Hernandez in this top of the 1st inning in our early start here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. One and one delivery. Breaking ball, too. It's fouled off to the right side, out of play, down the first base side into the tarpaulin, which there will be no use for tonight. Of which there will be no use tonight. English teachers want to check on that because we're expecting beautiful weather, and it is a lovely evening for baseball in Atlanta. 1-2 delivery by Mahler. Breaking ball inside, and Backman battles that one off. Counted 1-2 now for Wally Backman. Braves dugout. Pretty good crowd here tonight. Looks like 6,000 or 7,000 at this point, and they'll be filling in these 5:35, 5:40 start ball games. You usually can't tell how many people are going to be here till about 7 o'clock. 1-2. It's fouled off again. Backman having real problems with the Mahler breaking balls here.
You can really see why the players don't like these 5:40 starts. You look at the mound right now. It's in the sunshine. Home plate is in the shade. That pitcher coming out of a very bright sun. It'll be like this for about the first 3 innings of the game. Very tough on the hitters. Pitchers love it.
1-2 count. Backman fouling him off. Let's see what he does with this one. Inside evens at 2-2. You saw just a moment ago in the Braves dugout, Willie Stargell, unusual sight in the dugout the last few days as he caught the flu out there on the West Coast.
Yes,
you aren't bringing any of that back here with you, are you, Pete?
I hope not.
Willie back in action here tonight. Breaking ball line. Backman just waited for the pitch he wanted and finally got it into right field, and he continues being a nemesis for the Braves as he was .500 last year against Rick Mahler, 11 for 22. So he continues hitting well, and the Mets have a runner on first base in the form of Backman. And here's the number 3 hitter in the order, Keith Hernandez, hitting .281, 5 RBIs. Hernandez was 7 for 23 last year against Mahler.
No, it's frightening about this Mets team. They're 11-3. They've won 9 in a row, and Hernandez has not started to hit yet, and George Foster is hitting for average but has shown no power yet. What happens when those two guys get hot?
Got to see the Mets over the weekend, of course, playing against St. Louis, sweeping St. Louis. The Cardinals certainly no slouches. Backman chased back again. Backman has only a couple of stolen bases this year, but is fleet of foot. He tried 4 times. Ozzie Virgil trying to battle out of his hitting slump behind the plate for the Atlanta Braves. And Mahler, who does a good job of holding runners on. Horner down there at first base. First pitch hasn't been pitched to Hernandez yet. Finally gets an offering, and it's low for ball 1. I haven't had an opportunity to read the Keith Hernandez book yet. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. Have you had a chance to get into that, Pete?
I've looked at a couple of excerpts from it. I've not read the whole thing. But I understand he's very honest in that book about some of his past problems, and he has had some.
Count goes 2-0 on Keith Hernandez. Lives in New York right now. Of course, came to the Cardinals, I think, Allen, who also had had his problems, and Rick Owenby back in June of '83. 2-0 delivery. And it goes to 3-0 on Keith Hernandez with Backman down at first base. We have 1 out. Top of the first inning from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Rick Mahler in a little bit of trouble. 3-0 on the hitter Hernandez. Backman at first. 3-0 in there for a strike. Hernandez with 24 game-winning runs batted in last year. Led the major leagues. I guess you'd call that a clutch hitter. 3-1. There goes Backman. Up the middle. Into center field for a base hit. Backman, who had a jump on the play, goes easily over to third base. And the Mets now, with only 1 out, have runners at first and third. And up steps Darryl Strawberry.
He hit a low outside fastball up the middle. Glenn Hubbard almost got to it, but couldn't quite get there. And Wally Backman, as you see, almost at second base already, so he had no trouble whatsoever getting over to third. And the Mets are threatening here in the very first inning off Mahler.
2 hits. First inning, Mahler went right up to Lenny Dykstra and had that breaking ball working very well, but he threw just almost nothing but breaking balls. Strawberry at 259. Fastball for a strike. Darryl Strawberry, and yes, he is tall, 6'6", 190. Runners at first and third, 1 away. Another fastball in the outside corner. Count goes even to 1-1. Rick Mahler with runners at first and third, 1 away, top of the first inning. Breaking ball got away from him, but fortunately for the Braves, didn't get away from Ozzie Virgil. Count goes to 2-1. It's got to be tough for Mahler. After winning first 7 last year, he went something like 11 wins and 19 losses, and he's got to really be battling this mentally. 2-1. Evens the count. No, it brings it up to 3-1 now.
Yeah, nobody's really concerned about Rick. Chuck Tanner still has full confidence in him. Pitching coach Johnny Sain does, but I know it bothers Rick to get off to a start like this.
Strawberry with the hitter's pitch now. 3-1. 1 away. Runners at first and third. It's in there for a strike. Full count. Darryl from Crenshaw High School out in Los Angeles. There's Backman at third base. Hernandez at first. 1 out. Chasing Hernandez back is Mahler, and 3-2 count on Strawberry. John Williams, the great forward for LSU, went to Crenshaw High School along with a lot of others. Full count. Dribble foul down the first base line. Was it Wendell Tyler went to Crenshaw? Marcus Johnson. Giants Chris Brown. Great athletes. And that bounce up to Mailer's going to get a run in, and he does get Strawberry, but Strawberry picks up his 8th RBI as he bounces that ball right in front of the plate. Looked like a pop-up. Mailer had to wait for it to come down. Had nothing to do with it. Backman scores easily from third base, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead.
Very fortunate to get Strawberry at first. He runs very well, and the throw only beats him by about a half a step. So the Mets take the lead 1-0.
Well, the Braves have been struggling when they've had a lead, so maybe this is a good sign. We have 2 away now, top of the first inning. Runners now only at second base. Strawberry thrown out on the chopper. Gets down to Mailer, but Backman scores. Here is Gary Carter hitting .309. 16 RBIs. Breaking ball misses on the outside, goes to 1-0. Last year, Carter had himself a nice season against the Atlanta Braves, hitting .366. Tied for the lead in the National League in RBIs at 16 with Leonard at San Francisco and Johnny Ray at Pittsburgh. It's 2-0, and Mailer has thrown a lot of pitches here in the first inning. Hernandez at second base. He moved down. Mailer threw out Strawberry at first. 2-0. And it's 2-1. And there's the man who was in the, I've been waiting to say this, in the on-deck circle when 2 Babe Ruth career home run marks were broken. I've been waiting all week to say that.
He's done a great job with this Mets team.
Oh, it's been nothing short of spectacular in 2 years. That's high and tight. Count goes 3-1 on Gary Carter. Of course, he was Davey Johnson was playing in Japan when Sadarahu broke the record there, if you can say that's breaking the record, and was in the on-deck circle right here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium when Aaron hit .715. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball gets Gary Carter. Gets him for strike 2. Nice breaking ball by Mailer. I get the feeling, Pete, and you certainly have a better perspective on this than I, that Mailer's fighting that balance between the mix of breaking balls and fastballs.
Well, I think he is, and I think right now he's just fighting his confidence. He needs to, if he can get out of this inning with just 1 run scoring, that would be fine. But so much was expected of him at the beginning of the season, everybody penciling him in for 15 to 20 wins, and he's thinking that right from the beginning of the year. That puts a lot of pressure on a pitcher.
Here's the 3-2 delivery. Bounce. It'll be a tough play. Oberkfell gets Gary Carter on the high hopper, and Oberkfell playing with that sore hand. Didn't show any signs of it on the good throw to Bob Horner. And the Mets pick up 1 run in the top of the first inning, and the Braves are about to come to bat. Fourth, wasn't he the guy who struck out Camp?
He was the one that finally ended it about 4 o'clock in the morning.
You and Skip Carey.
One of the most remarkable games you'd ever want to see.
I've got to get a tape of your late inning comments. You two were interesting. Here's Claudell Washington, and takes the first pitch for a ball. Claudell Washington hitting .235.
I think that's the first game Skip Carey ever worked where there was no place to go afterwards but the Waffle House.
And my guess is that he did in fact go to the Waffle House. Is that true? It's 1-1 on Claudell Washington. 4 doubles. Claudell has been having trouble making contact. 14 strikeouts thus far this year. Count of 2-1 from Ron Darling. And Darling gets behind. 3-1 to Washington. Claudell hit well against Darling last year. Claudell was 6 of 14, hit .429 against Darling. 3-1 delivery. Low, and the leadoff hitter for the Atlanta Braves reaches. Claudell Washington gets down to first base, and Ron Darling off to an inauspicious start. And here's Rafael Ramirez hitting .286. Ramirez will be followed by Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, Terry Harper, Ken Oberkfell, Ozzie Virgil, Glenn Hubbard, Rick Mailer. Not necessarily all here in the bottom of the first inning. Braves trail 1-0 on 2 Mets hits.
Well, keep an eye on Darling's pickoff move. He led the National League in pickoffs last year. He picked 7 men off first base.
There goes Washington. Here's a throw by Carter. Washington's in there. Throw a little bit wide to the right side as Johnson came over to take the throw from Gary Carter. The Braves have a runner in scoring position. He didn't get much of an opportunity for the pickoff move as Claudel went on the second opportunity.
Gets a good jump on Darling. Carter has a very good arm. He hasn't been throwing that well early this year, though. There have been about 75 to 80% success for the base stealers against Gary Carter this year, and that's very unusual. Normally, he's about a 50-50 catcher. He'll get you about half the time.
0-1 the count. Ramirez takes it outside. 1-1. Washington down at second base. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Mets lead 1-0. Good view of Ramirez with an opportunity to drive in Claudel Washington. And that's fouled straight back into the screen. And it's 1-2 on Rafael Ramirez. Braves are we're talking about the bench and the depth of the Braves being vastly improved this year. They are going to need that depth in the next few days because starting tonight, the Braves are scheduled to play every day for the next 20. That means, Pete, of course, that you'll also have to work every day for the next 20.
And not many home games in that stretch either. This 3-game series and a 3-game series with Philadelphia. All the rest of those games on the road.
It's 1-2 for Rafael Ramirez. Washington down at second base. Nobody out. Bottom of the first. Breaking ball misses outside. Count even at 2-2. Ron Darling, also a defensive back in football at Yale. That bounces up in the air. Washington easily is going to get down to third base. Carter just now locating the ball. It came up off Carter and popped into the air, and Gary lost sight of it. And Washington now at third base with nobody out.
Darling having all kinds of control difficulties early. That was a breaking ball. He just let go of it too late. Bounced away from Carter. Darling led the league in walks last year. Davey Johnson commenting before the game tonight, he seems to have much better command of his pitches so far this year, but that has not been the case in the first inning of this game.
They'll score that a wild pitch. Count of 3-2 now with Washington at straight to second baseman Backman, but Claudel will get in as Ramirez gets an RBI. He grounds to Wally Backman, but Washington scores thanks to the theft of second and the wild pitch by Ron Darling, and the Braves have tied this ball game. Now we have one away, and here's Dale Murphy.
With the infield playing deep, the Mets were conceding the run. And Backman with an easy play here looked at home plate for a moment, but then thought the better of it and took the safe route to first. And with one out, we're tied at 1.
It was the 8th RBI on the year for Rafael Ramirez. Ball 1 to Dale Murphy, hitting .339. Right down the middle. Evens the count. Dale has struck out 16 times this year. Career Murphy's only .222 against Darling. And that one gets away. Well, Ron Darling really having a problem with his control. 2 that have completely escaped Gary Carter's thus far.
He had only 5 walks in 16 innings coming in, so his control had been better coming into this game. But so far in this first inning, he's been all over the place.
It's 2-1. It's high, but it's not going to carry. Let's see if the left fielder can get there. Foster does. Well, if there were any clouds up there, that one would have brought rain, and there are now 2 outs. Murphy flies out to George Foster, 37 years old. Here comes Bob Horner. Nobody on board. There are 2 away. Bottom of the first inning. Braves and Mets tied 1 each. Horner slowly getting that batting average back up there at .207 now after going 0 for 21 to start the season. He's probably tired of us saying he went 0 for 21. Takes it outside 1-0. And Darling falling behind on virtually every batter. He's 2-0 now on Bob Horner. Davey Johnson with 43 home runs back in 1973 when he played for the Atlanta Braves. Horner gets a hold of that one. It's not going to carry either, though. And Foster cuts in front of center fielder Lenny Dykstra to make the put away. Top of the second inning. This ball game's tied, 1 run apiece. Rick Mahler set to face George Foster. George 8 for 24 in his last 6 games. 37 years old, lives in Greenwich, Connecticut now. Had some great years with Cincinnati, of course. Came to the Mets in 1982. And Mahler goes behind 1-0. Foster's hitting .302, has 5 RBIs, 3 doubles. It's 2-0. And I'd forgotten that Foster started his major league career with San Francisco.
Well, it was one of those great trades. Giants sent George Foster to Cleveland for Frank Duffy.
That was one of those great trades.
Or to Cincinnati, rather. I think I said Cleveland.
It's Cincinnati, right. 3-0. 4 straight pitches, and Foster goes down. So, and an opportunity for both pitchers to get ahead of the hitters here and really have problems because of the shade and the sunshine. Neither pitcher can get the ball in the strike zone, and Chuck Tanner, with his confidence in Rick Mahler, has still got to be saying, Rick, you got to get the ball in the strike zone here. So the leadoff hitter in the top of the second, George Foster, down at first base. Not as much of a threat to run as he was in his earlier days. And here comes a guy who is really tearing it up, Ray Knight. 6 home runs leading the National League. Braves got their 1 run on no hits. And a fastball for a strike to Ray Knight.
Ray Knight's already matched his home run total of a year ago. And it's only April 29th.
He probably had his lovely bride helping him with his swing, huh? Count of 0-1. 0-2. Now Mahler comes back after throwing 4 straight balls out of the strike zone to George Foster. Gets ahead of Knight, 0-2. Ray Knight, everybody knows, from Albany, Georgia. I guess everybody knows it. Now you do. Here's Foster taking his short lead. He'll expand it a little bit. As Rick Mahler, has got a good pickoff move. We'll take a look at him and deliver. 0-2. It's blocked in front of the plate by Virgil, and Foster's going nowhere.
Ray Knight, one of those players like Craig Reynolds of Houston. Against the Braves, doesn't matter what kind of a year he's having. He's a superstar whenever he plays Atlanta, especially in this ballpark.
It's 1-2. Runner at first base, George Foster, nobody out, top of the second inning. Bob Neal, Pete Van Wieren with you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium if you're just joining us, and I'm sure a lot of people will be dialing in progress as we have an early start here tonight. And that's driven to center field. Should be no problem for Murphy. Has to battle the sun, as you can see. Makes the easy put out. Made more difficult by this twilight baseball game, and there is 1 out in the top of the second inning, and Foster remains at first base. Here's Howard Johnson.
That'll get a little tougher out there in right center field for about the next 2 innings as that shadow creeps a little bit closer to the outfield. That ball, a fly ball, will start out in the shadow, get into the sunshine, and come back down in the shadow.
Good view of the difference in that, and we're not making too much of that. I'm telling you, it's very, very difficult to pick that ball up from the hitter's perspective. On the left side of the plate, here's Howard Johnson hitting .350. And it's 1-0 to Howard Johnson. Yeah, that shadow will give you an idea of where the sun comes from. It comes over the third base side of Atlanta Stadium.
And that sun behind home plate will just keep creeping out toward the outfield as the game progresses. That little strip of sunshine.
Kind of even at 1-1 now. Art Johnson had himself a good year last year. Career highs in games, at bats, hits, doubles, and triples. Starting to come into his own. He hit .242 in 1985 for the Mets. Of course, he came over from Detroit in the American League in 1984. That's fouled out of play into the screen, and the count goes to 1-2.
He might have set a major league record in that 19-inning marathon last year. He checked into the game in the 9th inning. Before the game was over, he had scored 4 runs from the 9th inning on. That's tough to do.
I think the most fun was you and Skip wondering whether or not they'd set off the fireworks.
And they did.
It's 1-2 to Johnson. Oh, that one hung up there, but it's right at Claudell Washington in about 10 steps short left field, and there are 2 away. And Foster, who walked to lead off the inning, remains at first base. And here comes pitcher Ron Darling. Ron Darling, a good athlete. He's 0 for 8 this year with 5 strikeouts, but he's used sometimes as a pinch runner. And as we told you, he was not only a player in baseball but in football when he attended Yale. So he's pretty good stick for a pitcher. It's low and outside. Count goes to 1-0. Mets have some pretty good hitting pitchers. Dwight Gooden can hit.
You need him this year with a 24-man roster. You run out of players in extra inning games. A lot of pitchers have been used for pinch hit purposes already.
1-0. Foster at first, 2 outs. Breaking ball gets Ron Darling, and it's 1-1. Outside, 2-1. 2 are away. We're in the top of the 2nd inning. This game tied at 1 apiece. Mets with 1 run on 2 hits. Braves with 1 run on no hits. Washington walked, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, then was driven in on a ground ball to the second baseman. And the count now 3-1 on pitcher Ron Darling. And Mailer loses the pitcher, and here comes Lenny Dykstra. So Mailer definitely having control problems. You know that right away. 2 are out. Runners at first and second base. Both of the base runners are on thanks to walks. Dykstra struck out first time up.
He's not really an RBI man. He has only 3 runs driven in this year. He had only 19 last year. But of those 19, 7 last year against Atlanta. So the Braves have to be careful with this guy.
Good contact hitter. And Mailer continues to have control problems.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult decision for Davey Johnson when Mookie Wilson comes back. If Dykstra keeps playing as well as he is, he's hitting right around 300, has been, did last year as a fill-in for Wilson. It's a nice problem to have when you've got a little too much talent on your club.
The Mets have that problem about everywhere. I mean, they run Kevin Mitchell in at shortstop the other night, and he looked very impressive. Here it's 2-0, and it goes to 3-0. So Mailer starting to have real problems, and I see some stirrings in the Atlanta Braves bullpen. Nobody's really up working yet, but they're starting to walk around out there. I don't want to get way ahead here. Chuck Tanner realizes it's a 1-1 ball game, and he wants to hold in there with Mailer. But Mailer has now walked the bases full on 4 straight pitches out of the strike zone. And Chuck Tanner is going to go out to have a chat with him. He didn't call in a pitcher. This is his first visit, and he's just going to talk to Mailer.
You could almost read Chuck Tanner's lips. He said, hey, don't be afraid to throw a strike. Guys like Dykstra and Wally Backman, who's up now, aren't going to beat you with a home run. If they make contact and get one between a couple of the infielders for a base hit, not much you can do about that, but you can challenge hitters like Dykstra and Backman.
Well, you can sense the strain on the face of Rick Mailer out there, and obviously there's a strain anytime you're pitching in the big leagues, but Mailer, normally a pretty loosey-goosey guy. And the bases are full of Mets. All have walked. 2 are away, top of the 2nd inning. It's tied at 1-1. Backman singled into right field with a line drive last time up. Breaking ball. 0-1. No place to put Backman.
It always seems to happen, too, when you're having a problem like this. The hitter that steps in there is a guy that's killed you throughout his career. Backman hitting over 500 now against Mailer. 12 for 23 lifetime.
Bases loaded with 3 walks. 1-0 on Wally Backman. And it's a base hit into left field. They're going to wave. Here comes the throw. Out at home plate. Ron Darling, the pitcher, was waved at third base. He has good speed, but an excellent throw from Terry Harper and a good tag by Virgil. And the Mets lead 2-1. We go into the bottom of the second inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. Braves 1 run on no hits yet. And up steps Terry Harper with a good throw from left field to get Darling at the plate to reduce the distance between the Mets and the Braves. And Darling continues to have his control problems. His first offering out of the strike zone falls behind 1-0. Harper's been up and down. Let's see, he was down and up and down in his hitting. And it goes now to count of 2-0 on Terry Harper. 2 for 18 in his first 6 games. Then he went 8 for 24 in his next 7, but now he's 1 for 11 in the last 3 games. Successful last year against the Mets. 2-0 delivery. It's in there. Count goes to 2-1. Braves down 2-1. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Braves baseball from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, in case you're just joining us. Middle of the afternoon, you're probably taking a break out on the West Coast. And that may stay in play. Here comes Strawberry. Be tough. Did stay in play, but that was a tough ball. He had a little problem finding it in the sunshine, and that's very difficult. You got to run above the bullpen pitching mound, the wall right there in front of you, and the sunshine in your eyes. That'd have been a tough play for anybody. Ron Darling has a count of 2-2 now on Terry Harper. Ken Oberkfell in the on-deck circle. Good news for the Braves, as his injured hand was not that serious. And Harper hits this one into right center field. It may fall in there. No. Here comes Strawberry. Those long 6'6" legs, once he gets them rolling, he covers the ground in a New York second.
Reminds you a lot of Murphy out there, the way he covers ground effortlessly. Doesn't look like he's moving that fast. But he got to that one with no problem at all.
1 out. Oberkfell to the plate, hitting .345. It should be an easy play. The ball bobbled, but in time to get Oberkfell, as Howard Johnson had a little problem with a ball that should have been the easy play.
He's playing a little bit out of position. Normally a third baseman. Rafael Santana, the regular New York shortstop, has a bad hand, so Howard Johnson and Kevin Mitchell have been filling in at short.
You know, it's oversaid, but look at that sunshine now. It's coming right across home plate. It's often said that, you know, just a little move like from short to third, third to short, a lot of difference the way the ball comes off the bat. Rafael Ramirez having problems at third the other night when he played there for the Braves, moving from shortstop. Count goes to 1-0 for Ozzie Virgil, trying to break out of his slump, hitting .065. Had a meeting with his dad, see if that straightened him out some. 2-0. Getting ahead in the count for the hitter won't hurt the batting average either.
Well, the last time the Braves had an off day and Ozzie met with Ozzie Sr., he came right back and hit a home run against the Reds.
And that one's coming right back into the New York Mets booth. Pete, that was 1.5 feet away from you.
And Gary Thorne and Bob Murphy caught that one on only the 15th hop. Very good over there.
They wouldn't want to hand that over here to our booth. I still have never received a foul ball.
Tim McCarver giving him an E, giving him a T.
Count at 2-1 now. Virgil takes it outside for 3-1 for Ozzie Virgil. So Ron Darling behind on the hitter here. Terry Harper flew out to right field. Oberkfell grounded out to shortstop. Braves have 2 away. Nobody on base. Virgil at the plate. And he walks Ozzie Virgil down to first base for Glenn Hubbard. So that's the second walk in the ball game for Darling. Last inning, Mailer walked the bases full of Mets. And a lot of pitches have been thrown here early in this ball game. We're only in the bottom of the second inning. Glenn Hubbard wants to get his average up 50 points better than that as soon as he can. Takes first pitch for a strike. Started every ball game for the Braves thus far this year. He and Dale have started every game. 0-1 to Glenn Hubbard. Virgil at first base. Hernandez holding him. And that's driven into left center field for a base hit. Virgil will have to hold at second base. But the Braves have runners at first and second with 2 away, and up comes pitcher Rick Mahler, who would certainly like to help himself here. And Mahler can hit the ball. He has 2 hits so far this year.
Boy, Darling doesn't want to get a curveball up there. He hung that one right up around the letters. And the Braves have their first hit of the game.
There's the story on the game so far. Washington walked, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and came in on a ground ball to second base to get the Braves run in the first inning. First pitch to Mahler, and there for a strike. Mahler 2 for 9, has 1 RBI this year. Runners at first and second. There are 2 outs. And it's outside, 1-1. Rick stinging the ball pretty good in batting practice today. Makes good contact usually. Fouled off a Ron Darling fastball. Darling with usually a pretty good mixture of the fastball and breaking ball. One and 2 the count on Rick Mahler. Ozzie Virgil at second base. Glenn Hubbard at first base. Two and 2. Mets lead 2-1. Mahler a chance to help his cause here, struggling on the mound. Maybe he can build his confidence with some contact. And he gets it to right field, but in comes Darryl Strawberry. Right at Strawberry. First game between those two. Denver doesn't look like they're very good, but they win their ball games. And here comes Rick Mahler, hoping to find the strike zone. Walked the bases full last inning. Escaped with only 1 run, scoring on a good throw from Harper to catcher Ozzie Virgil to get Ron Darling out at the plate, who I agree with you, Pete, missed the stop sign. Should never have been trying to come home on that.
Bud Harrelson, the third base coach, just turned his back on the play as soon as Ron Darling ran through that stop sign.
I don't want to see it. First pitch to Hernandez in there, and this time Mahler gets ahead. The count 0-1. First time up, Hernandez grounded into center field for a base hit. Inside 1-1 to Keith Hernandez. Rick Mahler 1-4 in 1986. 17-15 last year. Didn't beat the Mets though. He was 0-2. Low and outside. Count goes to 2-1 now. And that's foul. Evens count at 2-2. One of Mahler's appearances last year was against Ron Darling. Lost 7-6 middle of July at Shea Stadium. 2-2 to Keith Hernandez. I don't know if there's a better fielding first baseman in the big leagues. Would you think there is?
Probably all around. As a player, Hernandez has got to rank right up at the top.
He hits that one hard. It's deep. Back goes Murphy. Shades the sun. Dale gets there. Nice play by Dale Murphy. And that was a lot more spectacular play than Dale made it look. That was tough.
Yeah, this one won't go on many highlight tapes for the week, but Dale fighting that sun all the way. He was very close to the wall when he caught the ball. Hit that wall pretty hard after the catch. Not as easy as he made it look. Might have pinched his hand in that fence out there in left center field. That fence made up of plexiglass shields that are sealed together, and where those seals are, there's a little crease. And he might have got the hand pinched as he banged up against that wall. Dave Pursley out to take a look.
You talk about every. Here's Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry grounded out on a high hopper to the pitcher that got a run in the first inning. Breaking ball in the dirt. Count to 1-0 on Darryl Strawberry. By the way, we want to wish a happy birthday to Bill Westbrook, who's, I understand, still shooting golf at his age. He's 80 years old out of Lumpkin, Georgia. Hope he's in from the golf course by now. That's 2-0. He's been a Braves fan since his hunting buddy Whit Wyatt coached pitching greats Warren Spahn, Burdette, and Ernie Johnson. Ground ball over to the right side. Easy play for Horner. And we have 2 away. Darryl Strawberry goes down unassisted to first baseman Bob Horner. Just incidentally, Bill Westbrook happens to be our producer Joel Westbrook's dad. Gary Carter steps to the plate now with 2 outs. Carter grounded out to third base. Still waiting to hear on Dale Murphy. We just want to remind you that we will tell you about the injury to Dale Murphy's right hand as soon as we hear. Carter takes first pitch for a strike. Mets lead 2-1. Top of the third inning from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Missing on the outside corner. Count goes to 1-1. Certainly be helpful for Rick Mailer to be able to get through this inning. He did not get this side down in order yet. Faced 5 batters in the first inning and 6 in the second. Breaking ball hit into center field, so Omar Moreno comes in for Murphy and has
those rivets out there in center field.
That'll place Dale's consecutive appearance starting streak in jeopardy. With stitches on there, be tough to throw. We'll see. Strike to Claudell Washington. He's now 0-1. He walked, stole, advanced on a wild pitch, and this time he may not have to wait. It's hit deep. It's going to be out of here. Claudell Washington ties it at 2. There was no question about that one.
His second home run of the year. He likes the ball down, and he got a fastball right down around knee level. He knew it was gone. He stood and admired it a while before leaving the batter's box. And we've got a 2-2 game.
Second homer, third RBI, and Claudell scored both of the Braves' runs now. And Ron Darling low and outside, 0-1. To Rafael Ramirez, who grounded out to second base and got an RBI to drive in Washington. First inning. And it's fair ball. Ramirez with an easy chance for 2. He'll hold there. Ramirez with a line shot that had eyes. It caught the chalk down the left field line, and the Braves bats come alive.
And a very tough call for third base umpire Billy Williams. That ball was hooking as it went down the third base line. It passed over the bag fair, landed foul, but called fair by Billy Williams, and no argument from the Mets. And that gives Rafael Ramirez a 12-game hitting streak. Ramirez at second base. There's nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Braves have tied it up against Davy Johnson's Mets, and Bob Horner will step to the plate for the Atlanta Braves. Horner flew out to left field last time as Carter talks to Darling. Excuse me, I said Bob Horner. Omar Moreno will step in here next, hitting for Dale Murphy. Speaking of Dale Murphy and his hand, he'll probably be out a week with those stitches, which means his consecutive game streak will end at 675. Well, I wonder if they'll try to sneak him in there as a pinch runner or something to try to keep the streak alive. Entirely possible. Of course, knowing Murph, he may want to come back, but a cut on the palm of the hand makes it tough to grip the bat, tough to throw on the right hand for Murphy, so we'll have to wait and see. Here's Omar Moreno, who came in place of Murphy. Tries to lay down the bunt and misses it. Ball 2. Well, wait a minute. They say ball 2. Looks like he offered at that bunt. Yeah, they correct the scoreboard now. It's ball 1, strike 1. Might have been a word or two exchanged had they called that a ball. So Ramirez with a doubles at second base. Claudell Washington led off the inning with a deep home run over the 385 sign in right center field. Moreno with a chance for an RBI now.
And he was fooled on that one. Count goes to 1-2. Omar Moreno not mentally prepared to be standing in there this early.
That's a very good point, because a guy who expects to come into a game as a pinch hitter, a pinch runner late, is readying himself from about the 5th inning on for something like that. But you're not ready to come into a game early, especially
1-2
for Murphy.
And he stands in there and battles off the breaking ball. The count remains at 1-2. Moreno has 3 RBIs. He's hitting .217. Been at bat 23 times, 5 hits. 2 of the 5 are doubles, has 1 home run. 1-2. Nobody out. Ramirez at second base. Game's tied at 2. Bottom of the 3rd. There's Ramirez at the bottom of your screen. And Darling bounces that one in there. These catchers have had a workout tonight with these pitchers throwing the ball so wild. And Bob Horner with nobody out would be in a good opportunity here if Moreno can reach. 2-2 is the count on Omar. And it gets away from Carter. He didn't foul it. He's going to reach safely. So the control problems really plaguing Darling. You can't win for losing on a play like that. Gets Moreno on the strikeout, and he reaches on the ball getting past Carter.
I don't know whether Moreno did this intentionally or not, but a lot of speedsters will sometimes, with 2 strikes, chase a ball in the dirt, knowing they're not going to hit it, but also knowing that the catcher has no chance. Whether he did it intentionally or whether he just didn't read the pitch right and took a bad cut, we'll have to wait until after the game to find out. But it's a strikeout and a wild pitch.
And Bob Horner with runners at first and third and nobody out facing Darling. This game's tied 2-2, bottom of the 3rd. And there goes Moreno. He's going to beat the play over there. The run scores. Ramirez, and Moreno is back in at second base. Moreno had already broken, eliminating any possibility of the double play. Johnson battling that shortstop position, playing out of position, bobbled it a little bit, and almost got into trouble in the run scores.
And Moreno is thinking here about maybe going all the way from first around to third on the ground ball. Howard Johnson had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. You saw Moreno start to break for third. Hernandez picks it up right away, throws back to second. Omar just does get back. They almost had a double play the hard way there. But the run does score, and the Braves lead 3-2.
3 runs on 3 hits for the Braves. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Mets. 1 out. Here's Terry Harper. Flew out to right field last time. Takes a strike. So these pitchers are battling it, and we have said earlier in the ball game, with the harsh shadows here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on these early ball games, usually the hitters get ahead, and in a strange sort of way, the offense is ahead. 3-2 only in the bottom of the 3rd inning with only 1 out. And we have Davey Johnson with a concerned look. Moreno at second base. And he's back in there. Backman came over. Good pitch. As you said earlier, Ron Darling is good on the pickoff moves. He had 7 pickoffs last year.
He's fortunate on this one because that hit the runner. Had it not, it might have gone by Backman. And Omar would have been at third.
There you go. 15 minutes ago, Omar Moreno was in there enjoying the ball game. Now he's got his uniform dirty. Sun in his eyes. He's worked up a sweat. Here's the ball. Should be an easy play for Strawberry, but Moreno should advance. He was late getting back to second base, and this is going to be close. He's out. Moreno with a bad job of base running. Didn't.
George Foster leads off the 4th against Rick Mailer. Foster walked in the 2nd inning. And Mailer's first offering right through there. Nothing at 1. 3 runs, 3 hits for Atlanta. 2 runs, 3 hits for New York. Neither club has made an error. The 0-1 is up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now the 1-1 pitch right through there for a strike. 1-2. Foster has had some very, very big games in this ballpark. Both when he was with the Reds and with the Mets. The slow curve strikes him out. He was way off kilter on that swing. Rick Mahler records his second strikeout of the game.
Never got up there, did it? Slow curve. And George was way out in front.
So Mahler seems to be settling down some now. He's retired 4 straight, and the batter is Ray Knight, who fly to center his first time. Takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Speaking of guys who have hit well in this ballpark, Ray Knight coming into this game and a lifetime batting average in this stadium of .376.
Well, that's because he ate all his mother's home cooking down in Albany. He couldn't hit that way all the time.
2-0 the count.
He used to kid about it, though. He loved to come back home. Albany is home. Now Nancy Lopez is responsible for that batting average.
Here's the 2-0. Fouled away. 2-1. He has 62 career home runs. 8 of those hit here.
I think he's playing physically well for the first time in a couple of years. He had a lot of trouble with his feet, or heels, I should say.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 man out. Braves leading at 3-2 in the 4th inning, and the 2-1 pitch. A little bit inside. 3-1. Mahler's 3-1 offering on the way. Fouled it back. I think Knight a little upset with himself. That was a pretty good pitch to hit right up around the letters.
He has 6 homers, and he only had 6 all last year.
At the beginning of the season, the plans were to platoon Ray Knight and Howard Johnson at third. Knight hit much better last year against left-hand pitching, and Howard Johnson hit much better against right-hand pitching. But Ray's been playing so well that he's in the lineup every day at third now, and they've been playing Howard Johnson some at short. Here's the 3-2. Fought that one off and fouled it off to the right. Stays full. 3-2 on Ray Knight. In case you just joined us, Dale Murphy had to leave the game in the top half of the 3rd inning when he made a great running catch out in center field, but then banged into the wall and suffered a cut on the palm of his right hand that may require some stitches. And that, of course, places his consecutive game streak in jeopardy. Fouled away.
Did you, Pete, pick it up as we did? Looked like the wall separated out there.
Well, there are seams out there, and there are also little rivet-type pins holding those panels together. It was really not clear whether he just hit the seam, had the hand pinched in there, whether he hit one of those rivets.
I think it pinched it.
Here's the 3-2 again. He just missed outside. And that's walk number 4 issued by Rick Mahler. So Knight the runner at first with 1 out, and Howard Johnson the batter. He flied to right his first time. Mets manager Davey Johnson said in that entire weekend series with St. Louis, which the Mets swept, the biggest hit of the entire series was a 9th inning home run by this man, Howard Johnson, that tied a game. The Mets went on to win in extra innings, and even though he didn't get the game-winning hit, the Mets felt they were beaten that game until Johnson connected for that 9th inning 2-run homer to tie it up. 0-0 and 1 the count.
It's not the first time he's done that. Last year, although not a big batting average, every once in a while a big homer.
The 0-1 on the way, missing low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 3-2 Braves, top of the 4th. Mets trying to win their 10th in a row. Braves trying to open up this brief homestand with a victory. And it's now 2-1. Rick Mahler trying to fight off a personal losing streak of 4 games. His control a little bit of a problem with 4 walks thus far. We're in the top of the 4th. Here's the 2-1, and the curve is looped into right field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Let's see how far Ray Knight will go. He'll stop at second base. And the Mets now have runners at first and second with one man out for pitcher Ron Darling. Darling drew a walk back in the second inning when Rick Mahler loaded the bases on walks and got out of it with only one run scored. About a possibility here with the pitcher batting. Ken Oberkfell discussing with Rick Mahler how the Braves infield will play it.
Knight just has average speed at second base. They might try for a force at third. If he bunts, and he probably will, as Horner creeps in.
Only one out in the inning. The runners are at first and second. Mahler delivers. Darling squaring. The bunt is fouled off the glove hand of Ozzie Virgil. That might have gotten him just below the glove, but right around the wrist. There are your runners. Johnson at first, Knight at second with one out. Again, Oberkfell over to the mound for a quick chat with Mahler. Make sure everybody knows who's covering where. And the 0-1 coming. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bud Harrelson, the Mets' third base coach this year, giving the signs. He could go and get him at short when he played.
Boy, he could pick him, and not too bad a hitter, and a pretty good country western singer.
Not bad. Back, he used to sing in some of the clubs around New York.
Sure.
During the off season. Here's the 1-1 with Ramirez going over to cover. Count goes to 1-2. That apparently tipped off the bat of Ron Darling. So now another decision for Dave Johnson with 2 strikes on the hitter. Mahler has 2 strikeouts in the game. He got Dykstra in the first inning to lead off the game. He got Foster to lead off this inning. Here's the 1-2. Darling squaring again. Takes strike 3 in the outside corner. Third strikeout for Rick Mahler. Out number 2 in the top half of the 4th.
Well, let's see where it was. Perfect. Darling knew it. Too close to not attempt to bunt it.
So there are now 2 out in the inning with runners at first and second. And here's Len Dykstra, who struck out in the first inning, walked in the second. Missing low, ball 1. Dwight Gooden against Joe Johnson tomorrow night. That'll be a 7:35 start here in the Superstation. Thursday night, Rick Aguilera against Zane Smith. Again, we'll be with you early at 5:35 Eastern Time. 2-0 the count on Dykstra. Then it's on to Philadelphia and Cincinnati. A 7-day road trip for Atlanta follows this 3-game homestand. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Dykstra fouling it off. 2-1. Dykstra called up last year when Mookie Wilson was injured. And he hit .254 with a homer, 19 RBIs, stole 15 bases. Done a very good job this year with Mookie Wilson out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Line toward short, caught by Ramirez. And that ends the inning. So the Mets get a couple of base runners, and that's it. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. It's still 3-2 Atlanta. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pete Van Wieren, Ernie Johnson with you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the Braves own a 1-run lead. Ken Oberkfell, Ozzie Virgil, and Glenn Hubbard due up now against Ron Darling. Oberkfell grounded out to short his first time. High and outside, ball one. Oberkfell in the last Braves game against the Dodgers had a throw from second base hit him in the right hand as he was sliding in. And he told us after that game he thought both his thumb and his index finger were broken. That's the way it felt when that ball hit, but X-rays showed nothing wrong. In fact, he didn't even take X-rays. Felt no need to because the hand felt so much better about an hour or so after the game. 2-1 the count on Oberkfell. In for a strike, 2-2. But it looks like Dale Murphy, Ernie, is going to be out about a week with that cut on the inside of the palm of his right hand.
I know he'll be back as soon as he can, but I just wonder how he'll be able to grip the bat for a few days. He'll have it all bandaged up and probably wear a batting glove and maybe an extra batting glove, but it's got to be sore and tender for a while.
Here's the 3-2 to Oberkfell, and he walked him. So Ron Darling's control still a problem. That's his third walk. And it brings up the catcher Ozzie Virgil, who walked his first time up. Virgil trying to break out of a woeful slump. Just 2 for 31 on the season. I wondered whether it was a kind of a thing that Ozzie Virgil goes through a lot, starting off slowly, but he says no. In fact, last year with the Phillies he hit .315 during the month of April, so he's not normally a slow starter like this.
I think he's pressing a little bit to make the trade look all right.
That could very easily happen.
Yeah, sure.
You read those newspaper articles all winter long about how you're going to be the guy to provide the power in that number 6 or 7 spot in the order. And then you start pressing to do so when the season begins. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Way outside. 2-0.
Sometimes maybe it helps not to be so conscientious. You know, he's a very conscientious young man. He wants to be a very fine catcher in the major leagues for a long time, and he just I think that's what's happening. I think he's just pressing. He's trying to make that trade look good for Atlanta, and right now it isn't.
2-1 the count on Ozzie Virgil. Braves picked up a run in the first, 2 more in the third. Mets got single runs in the first and second innings. We're now in the bottom of the fourth. Oberkfell got back. And the 2-1 coming. Got the fastball by him. 2-2.
There's another guy who's been hospitalized, a friend of ours, and John McSherry, who's on this umpiring crew. He's hospitalized in New York. He's got an infected foot. And John, if you're looking in tonight, we wish you a speedy recovery and hope that you're back calling them in a short time.
We sure do. Big John's a good man. Steve Ripley called up from the American Association to take John's place on this crew. He's the home plate umpire tonight. Here's the 2-2, and he pops it foul, first base side. Keith Hernandez gives it a chase, but I don't think he'll have room. He will not. That's up in the box seats. It remains 2-2. The New York Mets bullpen becomes active. Bruce Bereni beginning to throw out there. Long and middle relief, kind of a question mark for the Mets right now. They do have excellent starting pitching, and their short men out of the bullpen. Jesse Orosco and Roger McDowell have pitched very well, but their middlemen having a little bit of difficulty in the early part of the season.
And that fellow right there is off to a slow start. He's 1-1 lost number. His ERA is over 5, so he's had his problems too. I'm sure they're not too concerned about him. He's too good a pitcher.
Count still 2-2. The runner is going on the 2-2 pitch, and the fly ball hit to right field. Strawberry started back, now coming in, makes the catch. And Oberkfell hustles back to first. Strawberry's throw back to first. A little too strong, but Gary Carter alertly backing up, so Oberkfell hangs on right where he is. Strawberry's shown us how strong his arm is early in this game. He completed a double play to third base on the ball hit by Terry Harper, cutting down Omar Moreno. And with 1 out, here's Glenn Hubbard, who had a base hit his first time up. 0-1 the count on Hubbard. No other games underway yet. A complete schedule in both leagues tonight. But the first of the other games won't get started for about another 30 minutes. Here's the 0-1. 0-2. Hubbard had a horrible swing at that one.
I just think he was guessing. Might have been guessing breaking ball, and that ball just went right on by him. It was a number 1 fastball.
So it's 0-2 with one man out. Oberg fell at first at the bottom of the 4th. And the 0-2 is popped foul, coming back into the crowd. Count stays 0-2 on Glenn Hubbard.
So it looks like Murphy's streak will be stopped at 675 consecutive games.
Unless they can figure out a way to get him in there as a pinch runner for about 6 or 7 straight days. That'd be tough to do, though.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2. The let-up missed low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
In the past, they've kept it alive, which they do with many people with a consecutive streak going with a pinch hitting job in the 8th or 9th inning.
But you wonder if he could even grip a bat for a couple of days if that palm gets stitched up.
No. Pinch running would be the only thing for a few days.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 man out. Obergfell gets his lead. He'll be careful. We've mentioned Ron Darling, a great pickoff move. 7 pickoffs last year. Led the National League. Outside 2-2. Actually tied for the league lead. Grade Fontenot of the Chicago Cubs also picked off 7. Davy Johnson battling a bad back himself.
Pancho Villa's been quite a manager over there.
Here's the 2-2. Got him with a breaking ball. That's the first strikeout for Ron Darling. And there are 2 outs in the inning.
This is a curve. No, it isn't. Looks like a straight change. It was a breaking ball, not the curve ball that went down. Pretty good pitch.
Now Mailer, who lined out to right, hit the ball hard his first time up, but right at the right fielder, Darryl Strawberry. Got around late on the fastball. 0-1 the count. 3-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 4th. First of a 3-game set with the New York Mets, who are trying to win their 10th game in a row. That's out of play. 0-2 on Mailer. The last time a New York Met team won 10 in a row was back in 1976. The longest winning streak for the Mets in their history, an 11-game streak. They did it in 69 and again in 72. Well hit left center field. Going back for it, George Foster. He can't get it over his head, rolling off the wall. Obergfell gets the green light around third. He will score easily. And down at second with a run-scoring double is Rick Mailer, and that makes it 4-2 Atlanta. Mailer's second RBI of the year. And that's the first extra base hit this year for a Braves pitcher.
First time up, Mailer hit the ball hard, but right at the right fielder. This time he got it between the fielders, and Obi scored all the way from first.
So the Braves have made the most of their hits tonight. 4 hits, good for 4 runs. It's a 2-run Atlanta lead, and Claudell Washington steps in. He walked, stole a base, went to third in a wild pitch, came home in a ground out in the first inning, and then hit his second home run of the year in the third. Bruce Perrine is ready if needed in the Mets bullpen. Darling delivers, and Claudell sees the ball get away from Gary Carter. Over to third goes Rick Mailer.
I'd say a pass ball. I don't think it hit the dirt. They might have gotten crossed up. Oh, he should have caught that one. Pass ball.
So 2 wild pitches charged to Darling, and now a pass ball charged to the catcher Gary Carter. The runner is at third now with 2 down. And the 1-0 pitch to Washington. The let-up missed low, 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Downstairs again. And the 3-0 coming to Claudel. He looks at it low and away. Ball 4. That's walk number 4 issued by Ron Darling. The batter will be Rafael Ramirez. Davy Johnson going to stay with Darling here.
They just doffed their caps. The old "he's ready if you need him" sign from the bullpen coach.
Ramirez grounded out in the first inning, driving in a run, then doubled in the third to extend his hitting streak to 12 games. He bats with runners first and third. And another one missing. And that's 5 in a row from Darling that have been outside of the strike zone. Omar Moreno on deck. That caught the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Washington chased back. Claudel hasn't stolen a base yet this year until the first inning of this game. Foul back. 1-2. Washington now 1 out of 3 in the stolen base department. Rick Mailer now at third. He doubled in a big run here. And Claudel Washington, the runner at first. One ball, 2 strikes on Ramirez. Darling deals the 1-2 with Claudel going. Little dribbler is going to be hit right through the vacated hole. Base hit left field. Mailer scores. They're going to wave Washington. Now they're going to hold him. Russ Nixon gave him the green light for a moment. Then when that ball came rocketing toward home plate, Nixon about halfway down the line stopped Claudel Washington at third. And the Braves now lead it 5-2.
Just perfect. Washington running the shortstop over for the throw, but the ball is hit right through the hole. Right where he was. And Washington almost came all the way, but then at the last moment, Nixon said, whoa. Here's Marino, runner second and third, and we're going to have a change. Here comes Davy Johnson.
Ramirez now at 2 RBIs in the game and 9 on the season. He has tied Dale Murphy for the club leadership in RBIs. Bob Horner also with 9. And the Braves, making the most of 5 hits, will send Ron Darling to an early shower here in the bottom half of the 4th inning as Bruce Washington, the runner, at third with 2 outs. Moreno reached in a weird way in the third. He struck out but reached safely because strike 3 was a wild pitch. And he takes low from Bereni, ball 1. Moreno in there for Dale Murphy. If you joined us late, Dale Murphy cut his right hand when he made a catch and then banged against the wall in center field. It required some stitches, and he's going to be out for apparently about a week. Bereni, 31 years old, from Sherwood, Ohio, 6'3", 215 pounds. And the 2-0 pitch. Moreno chased one in the dirt, fouled it back, 2-1. Last year, really a lost season for Bereni. Pitched in just 3 games with the Mets until the shoulder ailment popped up. Then pitched in 1 game down at Tidewater. The count even, 2-2. You see the runners. Washington at third. Down at second, Rafael Ramirez. Bereni underwent surgery last May to repair a partially torn rotator cuff in his right shoulder, that dreaded injury that pitchers fear so much. Here's the 2-2. Moreno swinging and missing, strike three. Ball gets away from Carter again, but this time he will throw him out at first to end the inning. So Bereni comes in and gets out of further trouble, but the Braves pick up 2 more runs, and at the end of 4, Atlanta leads it 5-2.
Reach out and touch.
Against Rick Mahler. Braves leading it by 3. Backman has singled twice off Mahler, and he's now 13 for 24 against Mahler in his career. He drove in a run with his base hit back in the second. Here's the 1-0. Bunting trying to beat out that bunt. Ozzie Virgil will field. He'll have to hurry. Not in time. Good play by Bob Horner. That throw almost sailed over Horner's head. Wally Backman is 3 for 3.
Beautiful bunt. Virgil out on top of it. And he fires hard, and Horner caught it in the webbing. But the runner, Backman is safe. Good bunt.
5 hits in the game now for New York. Backman has 3 of them. Keith Hernandez has 1 of the others, a single in the first inning. He's also flying to center. Pitch on the way. Drill to right center field. Moreno's not going to get to it. He'll see if he can track it down before it gets to the wall. He will not. They're waving Backman around third. Hernandez will stop at second, and it's a 5-3 ball game. Keith Hernandez driving in his 6th run of the year with his 5th double of the season.
Hernandez hit it in the alley, and Backman runs very well. Very similar to Dykstra. They're almost clones, the first 2 hitters, and Backman scores easily to make it a 5-3 game.
So Hernandez down at second. Still nobody out. Darryl Strawberry at the plate. He has bounced to the pitcher and grounded out to first. And he takes low, ball 1. The Braves bullpen now showing some activity. Right-hander Craig McMurtry has begun to throw out there. Back over the mound. Be a tough play for Hubbard. He'll have to hurry this one. Strawberry runs well. He just got him. The runner, Keith Hernandez, moves to third.
He was in the air, but he was out.
So 1 out now. Runner at third for Gary Carter, who is grounded out to third and flying to center. Gary Carter did something that hadn't been done in a long time last year. In fact, it was the first time since 1956 that a player hit more than 30 home runs and struck out less than 50 times. Carter hit 32 home runs and struck out only 46 times. Last guy to do it in the major leagues, Ted Kluszewski, back in '56. Usually your sluggers strike out quite frequently. Breaking ball low and outside. 5 runs, 5 hits for Atlanta. 3 runs, 6 hits for New York. We're in the 5th inning. There's your runner, Keith Hernandez, at third with 1 down. And the 1-0 pitch to Carter is low, 2-0. You get no breaks in this New York Met lineup.
No.
All the way through it. You've got good, experienced hitters. There's a strike, 2-1. The only youngster, if you want to call him that, There's Lenny Dykstra, but he came up last year and had a good solid half season for the Mets, so he's no newcomer. Everybody else in the lineup been around for some time. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Of course, Mailer wants to get through this inning. This is the 5th inning. This is a key inning for a starting pitcher if he has a lead. You've got to work 5 to be able to get credit for a victory. Here's the 3-1 offering, and there's a fly ball right field. Washington going back near the warning track, but he'll get it. Tagging at third, Hernandez. He'll score. And it's a 1-run ball game. Another RBI for Gary Carter, his 17th of the season. And the Braves now lead at 5-4. So 2 outs in the inning now with the bases empty, and George Foster the batter. He has walked and struck out. With that RBI, Gary Carter, for the time being, takes over the National League lead. He has 17. Jeff Leonard of the Giants and Johnny Ray of the Pirates have 16. Their teams play later tonight. Ball 1 to George Foster. Two and 0 the count. Now the 2-0 pitch coming, and it's low, ball 3. The on-deck hitter, Ray Knight. Mailer's 3-0 pitch. He got the green light, drills it by the shortstop, base hit left field. George Foster getting the okay on the 3-0. Picks up another New York Met hit. That's 7 in the game now off Mailer, and the batter is Ray Knight. Knight is fly to center, and he's walked.
Not too much sentiment in baseball, although Tanner knows the 5 innings that Mailer must go to pick up the win. He knows that if he can get through there and they win the ball game, it's going to pick him up a lot. But if he lets another runner get on there, he's gone, I think.
Downstairs, ball 1 tonight.
The game comes first.
Terry Leach has gotten up now in the New York Mets bullpen as they get down toward the pitcher's spot in their batting order.
He's a former Brave farmhand.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Line drive right field. Claudell's going to have to play it on the hop. George Foster heading toward third. And the Mets have runners at the corners with 2 out for Howard Johnson. And here comes Chuck Tanner.
In all fairness to Mailer, that last ball hit. Washington appeared to lose it in the lights, in the sun. He couldn't pick it up right away, and then he played it on the bounce. That'll be all for Mailer.
So Rick Mailer will not get the chance to win this ball game, leaving after 4 2/3 innings. He has allowed 8 hits, 4 runs to this point. The runners at first and third belong to him. Rick a little wild tonight, walking 4, and he recorded 3 strikeouts. McMurtry pitched very well in the Dodgers series. 2 scoreless innings on Sunday. A 1-2-3 inning on Saturday with 3 strikeouts. Here's the 1-2. And there's another strikeout for Craig McMurtry. Ken Oberkfell right behind with 8. Bereni misses high, ball 1. 5 runs, 5 hits for Atlanta, 4 runs, 8 hits for New York. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That missed high, 2-0. Bruce Bereni trying to bounce back from rotator cuff surgery this year. Deals the 2-0. Fly ball right field. Strawberry waiting for it out there. He'll get it. And there's 1 down.
Speaking of rotator cuff, did you discuss Atlee Hammaker? He's back for surgery in Columbus.
Boy, he's had a tough time, hasn't he, the last couple of years?
San Francisco lefty. You really feel bad for him. He was a super pitcher there a couple of years back.
Had a problem this spring, Hamaker did, with a viral condition that was causing him to lose weight, and he couldn't seem to shake it off. Here's Harper, who's flied to right twice. One of those times it turned into a double play. Here's the 1-0. Grounded sharply. Third baseman Knight has it carom off his glove over to Johnson. The throw to first gets above the glove of Hernandez. And Terry Harper has pulled up limping after crossing the bag at first base. I wonder if he might have pulled a hamstring. He's going to trot down to second base. I don't think he'll get that far. Dave Pursley and Chuck Tanner on their way out. I think it's his left leg. An error will be charged to the shortstop, Howard Johnson, on the play. Terry Harper wants to stay in the game.
It's kind of a tough call. The shortstop wasn't even involved until the ball caromed off Knight's glove, but a good throw would have hit him, so they're going to charge Johnson with an error and put Harper at second base, although he's limping.
Terry Harper, as he reached second base, reaching down toward his left heel, so he may have just jammed his foot on that bag as he crossed it. And the batter is Ken Oberkfell, who has grounded out to short and walked. The way he was limping there, it looked like that dreaded hamstring, which strikes so many players over the course of a season. Oberkfell takes a strike, 0-1. One out in the inning. That error charge, the first error of the game. And it's 0-2 now on Oberkfell. Players tell you that when you come back from a rotator cuff injury, one of the hardest parts of all of it is just trying to convince yourself mentally that it's okay to go ahead and cut loose and throw hard.
Your arm's not going to fall off if you throw hard.
The 0-2, the runner is going. Oberkfell swings and misses, and out at third is Terry Harper. So it's a double play, which began with the Oberkfell strikeout, the second of the game for Bereni. And at the end of 5 complete, still Atlanta 5 and New York 4.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and the change of pace? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Delta flies to the heart of Europe. London,
Why, hello, Delta.
Paris,
Bonjour, Delta.
Frankfurt, Munich, and Stuttgart,
Guten Tag, Delta.
and Shannon, Ireland.
100,000 welcomes, Delta.
6 gateways to all of the heritage, tradition, and pride of Europe. All as close as a Delta jet. Europe. Delta gets you there.
This is the place where the work gets done. Work, that's the measure of a man. This is the home of America's best. This is the home of America's best. This is Red Man Land. Red Man Land. Red Man Land.
Every Saturday on CNN, look for the sights and sounds of CNN's Baseball 86 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern.
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Braves and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Braves and the Turner Broadcasting System, is forbidden.
In the top of the 6th inning, Tim Corcoran will lead it off as a pinch hitter for Bruce Bereni. Corcoran, who played with the Phillies last year, became a free agent at the end of the season. This is his first at-bat of the year. And he takes the first pitch low and away, ball 1. Corcoran last year hit only .214 for the Phillies. 2 years ago, he hit .341. Here's the 1-0, grounded foul. Don't forget, right after this game, we'll be taking you out to Boston Garden for Game 2 in that series between the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics. Skip Carey and John Andrews will be there to bring it to you. Here's the 1-1, bouncing ball. Should be easy for Hubbard. And there's one away. Now back to the top of the order, Len Dykstra, who has struck out, walked, and lined to short. Well, McMurtry in a position now to pick up a victory. Rick Mailer did not go the required 5. Horner will handle this one. Take it himself. Very quickly, 2 down.
A middle relief pitcher doesn't get many chances to win a game, so this is an ideal spot for McMurtry. He comes in with a 1-run lead. The starting pitcher can't get the decision, and if he can pitch any kind of ball here, he'll win his first.
Wally Backman's had a perfect night. He's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. The last time up, a bunt single. His batting average for the year now up to .414. He was thinking about bunting his way on again. Tomorrow night, 7:35, Dwight Gooden against Joe Johnson. Both pitchers off to 3-0 starts this year. One ball, 1 strike on Backman. Now the 1-1, the slow curve just missed. 2 balls and a strike on Backman. 5-4 Atlanta, 6th inning. They will appeal, and it's a strike, says third base umpire Billy Williams. 2-2. Here's McMurtry's 2-2 offering, line toward left, and Wally Backman's 4 for 4. That is hit number 9 in the game for New York. The first allowed by McMurtry, and here's Keith Hernandez, who has singled, fly to center, and doubled. Hernandez with 1 run scored and 1 RBI. Backman a threat to run. McMurtry, of course, has that good move toward first. That might cut down Backman's lead by a step or so. He has 2 steals and 4 tries this year. That was the good McMurtry motion. McMurtry picked off Steve Sachs in the 4th inning of Sunday's game in Los Angeles. Very close.
Backman acted like he was going fairly close.
Now the pitch taken by Hernandez, a little bit high, ball 1. Braves leading at 5-4. We're in the top half of the 6th inning with 2 men out. You've really got to be alert if you're a runner at first base with Craig McMurtry on the mound.
Bothers a hitter sometime when you go over there. Hernandez just took a little walk. Virgil needs some help. Someone from the dugout's got to yell because he's screened by Hernandez.
That breaking ball stayed outside. The count 2-0 now on Keith Hernandez. 3-0 the count. Scoreboard has it 2-1, but plate umpire Steve Ripley indicating it's 3 balls, no strikes. And the 3-0 pitch. He walked him on 4 straight. That's the first walk issued by McMurtry. Walk number 5 off Atlanta pitching, and it brings up Darryl Strawberry, who's always dangerous. Strawberry in this game 0 for 3. 3 groundouts. 1 to the pitcher, 1 to first, 1 to second. He did drive in a run when he hit that high chopper back to the mound in the first inning. And McMurtry is now missed with 5 straight. That caught the corner. The count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. Wally Backman down at second. Keith Hernandez, your runner at first with 2 outs. And a count of 2 balls, 1 strike on Darryl Strawberry. It's even now, 2-2. If you don't think Strawberry is a valuable player, when he was in the lineup for the Mets last year, they won 70 and lost 38. When he was out of the lineup, they were only 2 games over 500, 28 and 26. You might recall he missed a portion of last season with a thumb injury that he suffered when he made a diving catch on a ball.
He played 111 games and had his best year in the majors home run wise, 29.
He's got 40 home run potential. That kind of player. The count full now, 3-2. And this will give the runners a head start with 2 down. They'll be taking off from first and second on the 3-2 pitch, which is hit high and deep to center field. Moreno going back. This one is gone. Darryl Strawberry hitting his 2nd home run of the season. And the Mets have regained the lead 7-5.
It was a 3-2 curveball, but it was up. Back foot off the ground. Doesn't make any difference. His momentum carried him through, and he had a curveball in the center field over 400 feet away.
Strawberry now with 2 homers, 11 RBIs on the year. The Mets now lead at 7-5, and here's Gary Carter. All this happened in the 6th inning after 2 men were out. A base hit by Wally Backman, a walk to Keith Hernandez, and a 3-run homer by Darryl Strawberry, who now has a 6-game hitting streak. The 1-0 pitch is over, 1-1. Carter is grounded to third, fly to center, and drove in a run in the 5th inning with a sacrifice fly to right. 7 runs, 10 hits now for New York. 5 runs, 5 hits Atlanta. High in the air, shallow left field. Oberkfell and Ramirez both back. It'll be Ramirez making the call and the catch to end the inning. But the Mets have regained the lead on the 3-run Strawberry shot. We go to the bottom half of the 6th, 7-5 New York.
Do you know what kills your muffler? Rust. Rust that can start on the inside and eat its way through. Now there's a muffler that helps stop this problem. The Walker Advantage, with a revolutionary rust inhibitor, Absorbite, that actually absorbs internal moisture. The inside of this muffler was not protected with Absorbite. This muffler was. You can see the difference. The Walker Advantage. It puts rust at a disadvantage.
Warranted at service outlets and auto parts stores where you see this sign.
Right now, your body's thirsty for more than water.
You what you want and only body like you never have before.
Quench its Gatorade is thirsty.
So go and give your thirsty body what it's feeling thirsty for.
Quench its Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
Gatorade Thirst Quencher quenches the thirst in your throat while it helps put back the potassium, fluids, and minerals your whole body's thirsty for.
Quench its Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down fighting thirst.
Play as time goes by.
You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss.
There are stories about love and stories about war, but there is only one Casablanca.
He's looking at you, kid.
Only one Humphrey Bogart. Only one Ingrid Bergman.
I know that I'll never have the strength to leave you again.
Casablanca, 10:35 Eastern on the Superstation, Thursday night.
Here's a special offer from Super Sports News, the official magazine of the Braves. Subscribe today to Super Sports News for the low rate of $11.95, and you'll also receive a 1986-87 calendar with beautiful full-color photos of all your favorite Braves. To subscribe, just send $11.95 to Super Sports News, Post Office Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia 30312. That's less than $1 initial, plus a free Braves calendar.
Bottom half of the sixth inning, New York with a 7-5 lead over Atlanta. The new pitcher for the Mets, right-hander Terry Leach, making his third appearance. He's worked only 2 innings, allowed no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. A side-arming right-hander, once in the Braves minor league system, and time called now. Chuck Tanner heading out toward home plate. Wants to discuss something with Steve Ripley. Leach replaces Bruce Bereni, who worked an inning in the third, allowed no runs or hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. I have no idea what that conversation was about.
No, and Billy Williams started in from third to see if he could help.
Ozzie Virgil leading off in the bottom of the sixth. Pitcher's spot due up third in this inning, and right-hander Dwayne Ward has gotten up in the Atlanta bullpen. Virgil has walked and flied to right. There's Ward. And the 1-0 is cut on, missed, 1-1. Leach last year 3-4 with the Mets, a 2.91 ERA in 22 games. Also spent part of the year at Tidewater. He was in the Braves organization from 1977 through 1980. That's going to be a tough chance for Ray Knight. He'll go through with the throw, but it won't be in time. Maybe that'll get Ozzie Virgil going. It'll be an infield hit. He didn't hit it well. But he is aboard to open up the bottom of the sixth.
Knight chose to go through with it. I don't think it would have rolled foul. No, it would never have rolled foul. And he didn't have a chance.
Hit number 6 for Atlanta. Glenn Hubbard steps in. He has a single and a strikeout in 2 at-bats. They're not going to hold Virgil at first. Hernandez playing behind him. Ball 1 the count. And the 1-0 pitch. Missing again. 2-0.
Chambliss comes to the on-deck circle. There you see him.
So he'll be the pinch hitter for Craig McMurtry. And the 2-0 on the way. Downstairs again, 3-0. Leach began the year at Tidewater, came up when Ed Lynch was placed on the disabled list. Their bullpen going to work again.
Neiman.
Randy Neiman. It's 3-1 now on Hubbard. Virgil at first, nobody out. Here's the 3-1 pitch, fly ball, lazy into left field. George Foster waits for it out there, and he'll take it for the out. Virgil holds it first, 1 down. Now Chris Chambliss will bat for Craig McMurtry. Those are correct numbers on Chambliss. He is 7 for 11 this year. 4 for 6 as a pinch hitter. He has a home run and 2 RBIs. Braves pinch hitters have done a great job this year. Overall batting .360. Oh, and 1 the count. Braves trailing 7-5. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning with 1 man out. Terry Leach, the 3rd pitcher to work for the New York Mets. The count even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Final conversion, 1 1/3 inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 base on balls, 1 strike.
Here's the 1-1 to Chambliss. Line drive, left field. Foster has him played just about perfectly. And there are 2 outs. Now back to the top of the order, and Claudell Washington. Washington's had a perfect night. 2 walks and a home run. He has scored 2 runs, driven in 1. Ball 1 the count. Ozzie Virgil, the runner at first. He opened the inning with a single. He's still there with 2 down. You'll see Hernandez not hold him. He'll back away from Ozzie as the stretch is made by Leach. Two 2-0 the count. And the 2-0 pitch coming. Outside, 3-0. The on-deck hitter, Rafael Ramirez, who has been the Braves' hot bat of late. Here's the 3-0. Not close. First walk issued by Leach. 5th walk issued by the Mets. And with runners now at first and second, Ramirez will be the batter. Rafael has grounded out, doubled and singled. He has scored 1 run, driven in 2. He now has a 12-game hitting streak, and Ramirez batting average now over the 300 mark at .301.
When you're a submarine pitcher like this, you got to get the ball up a little bit, because the manager in the dugout will say, make this guy get it up. Because of the way he throws, he's going to have a lot of balls sinking out of the strike zone.
And the first pitch to Ramirez is a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Usually it's just 2 pitches. It's a sinker and a curve or slider, one or the other. Pitch that'll break away from a right-handed batter.
Now the 0-1 on the way, and the let-up chased by Ramirez, 0-2.
That was his breaking ball. Doesn't make any difference if you get that up, as long as it's away.
Of course, Ramirez has a tendency to chase pitches under the strike zone. The 0-2 is looped toward shallow right field. Strawberry coming on. He'll make the running catch. And that ends the 6th inning for Atlanta. The Braves strand a couple of base runners. They've now left 6 men on in the ballgame. And at the end of 6, it's the Mets 7, Atlanta 5.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and the change you pay? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Republic's frequent flyer perk, you get a free trip twice as fast.
Republic Airlines.
The Superstation is the way to see the NBA at the Hoop.
Tonight, the NBA playoffs continue. Can Dominique Wilkins and Atlanta escape the chokehold of Larry Bird and Boston's strangling defense? Find out live at 8:20 Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
When you want to see the best, it's WTBS at the Hoop.
Weeknights, it's the best darn hour of Western adventure on television.
I'll guarantee you that.
That could only be Gunsmoke, the great American Western on the Superstation. Matt Dillon, Miss Kitty, Festus, Doc, and those famous faces you know from other places. So saddle up, partner.
Festus, I'll get the horses, Matthew.
For that great American Western, Gunsmoke, 6:35 Eastern on Superstation WTBS every weeknight.
For those of you who didn't see or just tuned in, this is Murphy hurting his hand. See how that separates right there? I believe that caused it. And what happened, he's got a gash on the palm of his right hand. He's been taken to the hospital for stitches. That happened back in the third inning off Hernandez. And the feeling is he'll be lost for a week. Braves can ill afford to lose Dale Murphy for any time. But they've lost him, and in all probability, his 675-game consecutive streak is broken. Incidentally, he started that streak back on September 26, 1981. That was the year of the strike. There's your new pitcher, Dwayne Ward. The batter's George Foster. Ernie Johnson and Bob Neal with you now on the final 3 innings of this telecast. Fastball over. Line towards center, Marino. 1 down. Ward with a record of 0-1, ERA 3.52. This is his 6th game. Now Ray Knight, and the pitch. Driven to right center field, going to be in for a base hit. Washington trying to cut it off, can't. It's all the way to the fence. Knight's got 2, and he will be satisfied. His 2nd hit, and hit number 11 by New York.
Well, these Mets, when you're hot, everybody aggressive at the plate, and nobody's any hotter than Ray Knight as he just goes out and gets that ball and gets a sharp liner all the way to the wall and just cruises into second base. And Ray Knight's having himself a good night tonight as he flew out, then he walked, and now he's 2 for the last 2 at bats, so he's 2 for 3 on the night.
Johnson's a batter, 1 for 3, as you can see, at a single back in the 4th. Strike called, 0-1. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. McDowell starts to throw. Well hit right center field. That's going to plate another run. That's going all the way to the wall. Same spot. He might try for 3. Nope. Howard Johnson makes it 8-5. Back-to-back doubles.
Well, Howard Johnson gets his 2nd hit of the night. About belt high, good sweeping swing, and he drives it the same place that Ray Knight did. In between Marino and Washington, and Knight just cruises on in to score as he cruised on into second on his double, and it's 8-5. 12 hits now.
Danny Heap comes on as a pinch hitter. He's batting for Leach. Fastball high. Heap at 357 with a homer and 8 RBIs. 1-0. 1 ball and strike. Now a 1-1. He went.
Denny Heap, who gets to be remembered forever in the history books as the 4,000th strikeout victim for Steve Carlton. Nolan Ryan, excuse me.
Here's a 1-2. He's out of there. Strikeout. For out number 2.
Well, Ward's got the great fastball. That gets right in the wheelhouse, but it got up there before Heap could even think of swinging at it. He goes down on strikes.
Here's Dykstra. Up the middle, base hit. Another run will score. Makes it 9.
Oh, well, they're really tagging Dwayne Ward. It's just not there tonight. As you can see, even on the strikeout last time, the ball was right down the middle. Ward just not keeping that ball low and gets it up there. The ball grounded into center field. 13 hits on 9 runs, and Braves pitching has really been roughed up by the red-hot Mets. And by the way, Ernie, before the next hitter steps in, we understand now that Dale Murphy had 9 stitches in his hand, and they're estimating he'll be out a week. Of course, they'll have to wait and see.
Wally Backman is perfect tonight, 4 for 4. He's the batter. Dykstra at first. With his first hit of the night and an RBI, it's 9-5. Top of the 7th. Been anything but lucky for Atlanta. But the Mets have scored now 7 runs in the last 3 innings. Ossenmacher starts to throw for Atlanta. They've got Roger McDowell ready. Down low. There's Ossenmacher. The Mets won 9 in a row twice last year. Trying for their 10th in a row. The runner going. No contest. Stolen base. Dykstra. That is his 6th. He's yet to be caught. Virgil didn't have a chance. It was a breaking ball in the dirt.
He's now 6 for 6 is Dykstra on steals. Tremendous speed, good jump. Got that good, efficient motion. Looks like a sprinter until he goes in head first there. Little did he know the throw wasn't even coming. So he's 6 out of 6 on stolen base attempts this year for the Mets.
They might let Backman swing. Took it. 3-1. Should be an out. Horner saved Ramirez. They finally get Backman out of there. But the Mets pick up 2 more. It's 9-5. We go to the bottom of the 7th.
Roaches, public enemy number 1. They come out at night carrying germs and disease and leave filthy droppings behind them. They scurry all over your kitchen and crawl over food. How do you get rid of them? You've tried smelly spray insecticides, but look, roaches can smell too, so they avoid the sprayed areas and keep coming back. Now there's a solution to roach problems. Roach Kill, the amazing odorless powder with a double-your-money-back guarantee. Write down this toll-free number to order. In scientific tests, the active ingredient in Roach Kill proved 99.5% effective after 1 use, far superior to spray insecticides. Roach Kill kills and controls roaches better than any aerosol insecticide. Roach Kill is easy to use. Just squeeze the powder from the Roach Kill bottle behind appliances. Roaches can't smell Roach Kill, so they don't avoid it. They walk right through the Roach Kill powder, which clings to their legs, and carry it back to their hidden nests within the walls. There it kills the whole colony. Roach Kill is so incredibly effective, it has a double your money-back guarantee. Roach Kill is guaranteed to kill every last roach in your house. If it doesn't, simply return it and we'll send you double your money back. Pick up your phone and call right now. Get extra bottles for garages and basements. Most orders are shipped in 24 hours. Call toll-free 1-800-257-1234 for Visa, MasterCard, or COD orders. That's 1-800-257-1234. Or mail $9.95 plus $2 shipping and handling. Remember, 1-800-257-1234. This offer may end at any time, so order before midnight tonight. That's 1-800-257-1234.
It may be the worst nuclear accident in history, and the Soviets are asking for help. For details and continuing coverage, turn to CNN.
We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Roger McDowell's the new pitcher. We want to pass along our sympathies to the Tom Seaver family. We understand that Tom lost his mother last night out in California.
Ernie, interesting story about McDowell is last year he tied with Orozco for the club lead in saves. He had 17, but the Mets have been struggling with relief pitching this year, much as the Braves have. And McDowell, even though he's 2-0, has no saves on the year. No Mets pitcher has any saves except Orozco, who has 3. So let's see if McDowell can hold him here. He's pitched 10.2 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned.
Marino takes a pitch high, 1-0. Strike call. One bounce to second. Going to be an easy out. Marino now 0 for 3. A reminder, following this telecast, the Hawks are at Boston game 2. Skip Carey and John Andrews will bring in a game your way. Then tomorrow night, following Braves baseball, the Dallas Mavericks against the Los Angeles Lakers, Rick Barry and Bill Russell. Horner fouls it away. Harper's on deck. The Mets with 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th have made it 9-5. It's a little joyful there for a while. It was at one time 5-2 Atlanta. Now the 1-1. Hit foul. Did you see Pete Rose's remarks in the paper on his team? If you didn't, I gotta pass them along. Rose, Cincinnati Reds in the last 8 games have batted .168. He says, I can't understand it, the fans can't understand it, and Marge won't understand it. I mean, he just tells it the way it is.
Win one, maybe you can make that speech, you know, win one for Marge.
Yes.
Well, the Braves will get an opportunity to see on, what is it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday up in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Team that's hot right now is Houston. They're 13-5. They lead the West. San Francisco 11-8. Mike Schmidt of the Phillies was player of the week. 333, 2 homers, 10 RBIs in the National. Just outside, Gary Carter trying to ump. Steve Ripley says, you catch him, I'll call him. Umpire doesn't mind if you look out at the pitcher and yell at him, but just don't turn your face.
Here's a good view of the comments. A good view of the reason for the comments, and then another view of the reason for probably another comment, but Horner's making them to himself. He's 0 for 4 now.
Strikeout of Horner. Now Terry Harper. Peachtree Peach. 2 down in the 7th. Same two clubs tomorrow night at the regular time. Dwight Gooden against Joe Johnson in a battle of pitchers with identical records, 3 wins and no losses. Then the Braves close it out on Thursday, back to 540 again, and go to Philadelphia for the weekend. 3 in Philly, 4 in Cincinnati before getting back. I mentioned the Houston Astros. They just got slugged by Philadelphia. They missed a point after. It's 6-0 after 1. That's to first. Little foot race, won by Hernandez. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 8th. It's still 9-5. New York.
An hour from now, there'll be 50,000 fans here, eating, drinking, cheering, and groaning. Some of those fans will leave here not feeling so well. Whether it's heartburn, upset stomach, even diarrhea, they can all take one remarkable medicine for relief: Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto-Bismol relieves what's wrong, relieves it, then leaves a protective coating behind. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
Now there's a fade cream that won't disappoint you. Fade Away Skin Lightener by Francis Denny. The only fade cream so effective, it comes with a guarantee. So if you're not satisfied with the way Fade Away lightens brown spots, just return it with proof of purchase for a full refund. Of course, Fade Away costs a little more than other fade creams, but then we guarantee a real disappearing act. Fade Away, available from trained Francis Denny cosmeticians at fine stores everywhere.
Hello, everybody. This is Kevin Christopher in Atlanta. Remember, NBA playoff basketball, Atlanta and Boston coming up next after the ball game. Also, tonight, we'd like you to cast your vote for the NBA's Rookie of the Year. Here's a look at the leading contenders and the corresponding phone numbers. You can call us all throughout this evening's telecast and cast your vote for either Patrick Ewing, Xavier McDaniel, Karl Malone, Spud Webb, or anybody else you like. That's coming up this evening. We'll be keeping you posted on NBA playoff basketball. Now, let's go back to Fulton County Stadium.
Billy Samples, the new left fielder, as we view to call-in for Rookie of the Year.
I might vote for Manute Bol of Washington. He came in there when Jeff Ruland got hurt. Everybody thought he couldn't even play in the NBA. He's had himself a pretty good year. Yeah. All of those guys are good candidates, too, of course. And Spud Webb's been great down the stretch in the playoff, with the exception of the Sunday game against Boston. And nobody was good in that one.
And Ewing was out most of the year, wasn't he? Ossenmacher, the pitcher, Sample in left. Hernandez, the batter. Ossenmacher will probably bat 5th, and Sample will bat in a 9 spot. Harper out. A ball outside. Hernandez is 2-for-3. He knocked in a run in the 5th. They have 13 hits. The Braves have a half dozen. Curve in there. Detroit's leading Kansas City 1-0 after 2. Some games are underway. No score at Fenway Park, Boston, between the Mariners and the Red Sox after 2. And the Reds lead Montreal 1-0 after 2. I told you about Philadelphia scoring 6 runs in the first inning against Houston. We'll have our Red Man scoreboard come along, and we'll also update you at the end of the ball game.
Ernie, we were talking about Dale Murphy being out with the 9 stitches, and Pete and I were conjecturing earlier that he might get in as a pinch runner, but of course we were just reminded by Robin that that wouldn't count as an official appearance.
Not unless he went out in the field and played and was also used as a pinch runner. Hernandez is trying for 2, and he's got it. You kind of get a feeling you know why the Mets have won 9 in a row. Oh, they're killing us.
The Mets are going up there like they believe they're going to hit the ball, and no matter who's been in there for the Braves tonight, whether it's been Mailer or McMurtry or Ward and now Ossenmacher, they're just tattooing the ball. And speaking of tattoo, the home run he hit, you don't see many in the seats in center field here.
No. To the mound, looking to second, now going to first, and they get Strawberry. Big guy can run. He's had years where he's been in double figures with stolen bases. Carter is a batter. Yes, it's a well-balanced New York Met team, picked by many to win the National League East. They came close last year. They finished 3 games back, but they were within 1 game with 5 to play, and the Cardinals won it. And the Cardinals have lost a couple of pitchers, but don't count the Cardinals out anything with their speed. 1-0. You see Hernandez in the bottom of your picture. And the 1-0. A little bit high. 2-0. Last season, the Braves could do nothing with New York. They played 12 times, and the Mets won 10 of them. 5-1 in both parks. Bud Harrelson booted it. It's the only thing wrong the Mets have done tonight. He gets booed for it. A lot of fans here for New York, and that's not unusual. They followed them when they weren't winning. Back in 1962 when they started playing in the old Polo Grounds. They've come a long way. Two balls and a strike. Hit foul right over their dugout. Had a little question today while having breakfast out in Alpharetta about the umpires and the balls being hit right at the umpire, and a couple of times in Los Angeles hitting the umpire. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and we used it on the Major League report. A bit of a knotty problem. Is the ball dead or in play when it hits the umpire? 3-2. Struck him out. Well, there were 2 examples. First, we'll look at this curveball.
It's a good one. Just gets enough of the break, and Carter was way out in front of the curveball also.
George Foster. We ask you to stay tuned. We're going to join the Hawks-Celtic game in progress. Foster misses.
Let's give Red Auerbach a call. He's going to work with me on a Thursday night telecast of the Philadelphia-Milwaukee game and see if he won't just hold the game up. The Boston Garden fans wouldn't mind, would they?
It'd probably come down. All those banners, too. They're going to toss it up on time. Here's an 0-1. Strike call. On the umpires, if the umpire is behind the first baseman, as he was when the umpire got hit in one of the games in Los Angeles, the ball's in play. It bounded over to Horner, and he made the out. The umpire was behind the infielder. Fouled away. If the umpire, like Joe West right now, is behind the pitcher, he is in front of the infielder. If a ball hit Joe West off the bat of Foster, the ball is dead. It's all where the umpire is. And the batter gets a hit.
And Joe would probably be hurt.
Low on a curve.
There's Joe over on the right side of your screen. I'll tell you what, you got to keep alert for that if you're the umpire. That
Yes.
ball gets to you in a heartbeat. If he's watching the runners and other things, dangerous.
Look how dangerous a pitcher is, though, Robert. He's got to stay alert, too.
You've seen a couple of scorchers in your day, right?
Yes.
Well, of course, that's why they give the pitcher a glove. Or
yeah. And knees.
Or a shield.
And knees and elbows. Chest. He just balked. Just about everything that could go wrong has gone wrong so far tonight. Assenmacher balked. We didn't pick it up right away. Let's see. Did he start his motion? Now watch. First he pitches. We're live now. To first. Bobbled on a low throw.
And the run scores.
And the run scores. That'll be an error on the throw. That makes it 10.
Talk about, you said everything that could go wrong did. You get the balk, and then shortly after that you get another error, and the run comes in. And it looked like Assenmacher had gone into his delivery. Nobody argued about it either.
If you start to stretch and then stop, it's a balk. You got to go through with it.
He had started.
Yeah. This is Ray Knight. The 0-1. 0-2.
Now Atlanta has Garber up in their bullpen.
We're in the 8th inning. The Mets have doubled the score. It's 10-5. The error goes to Oberkfell on the throw. Pop foul out of play.
Not making excuses for Oberkfell, but of course, I guess as most everybody knows now, he's playing with a slight injury out there too. Braves have been relatively injury-free, fortunately, so far, but in 162 games, you're going to get them.
They asked for help, and Frank Pulley says no, he didn't go.
Well, I'll bet you a soda pop that bat head crossed the front of the plate. We'll see if I win or lose the soda pop. I'd say that was a swing.
Yep.
He might have got a double if he'd have connected.
Down low.
The way things have been going for the Braves, he would have gotten a double.
He's had one. He's 2 for 3. Two balls and 2 strikes. Fouled away. Foster at first base. Ward went 1 inning, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs. Bullpen hasn't done it tonight. To third, to second. Sarcastic applause amidst from the fans. The Mets are finally out of there. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 10-5.
You can't have it all. Who says you can't love your work and the change you pay? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
If you've neglected to prepare a will, consider this. Without a will, the court, not you, decides who receives your property and in what amounts, who manages the affairs of your estate, who becomes the guardian of your minor children. Also, your loved ones could face high costs and needless delays, regardless of the size of your estate. Failing to make a will means taking unnecessary chances. The Plan Safe Will Kit is now available so you can have a will without the costly expense. Prepared by lawyers, it is absolutely valid in all 50 states. You will receive simple fill-in-the-blank will forms with easy-to-follow directions. Our guidebook will give you a full understanding of this most important document. Order now and we'll send you this handsome organizer as a free gift. The Plan Safe Will Kit is yours for only $9.95. Money back if not delighted. Order now.
To order, send check or money order for just $9.95 plus $1 shipping and handling
to Wilkit, Box 7500, Atlanta 30357. That address again is Wilkit, Box 7500, Atlanta, Georgia 30357.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Hello again, everybody. John Andres, Skip Carey with you from the Boston Garden. Game 2 of the Celtics series with the Atlanta Hawks. We'll be getting started before a capacity crowd in just a few moments. We invite you to stay with us throughout the evening here on TBS as we keep going with sports.
We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Oberkfell leads it off. The basketball game has not started yet. There's a bouncer to second. One down. Hawks-Celtics game has not started as yet, but when it does, we'll keep you posted as to what's happening. And we'll join as soon as possible from this game to that.
I think tip-off is set for 8:40 Eastern time, so it's 10-12 minutes before they tip it off here. But the Braves are going to do their best here to delay that. It's tough, though. 10-5.
An inning and 2/3 left. Pitch inside to Virgil, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. Garber throwing in the Braves bullpen. 10-14-1 for New York. Atlanta 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. And the 1-0. Low and away. Two-0. 2-1.
Glenn Diamond, of coordinating producer for baseball, has been down in the Braves clubhouse with Dale Murphy, who's back from the hospital with the stitches. Says his hand is all wrapped up with 9 stitches. They're expecting to be out a week. Of course, they'll have to wait a while to see how long.
Bouncer to third. 2 away. Hubbard's a batter. He's 1 for 3. A very easy bottom of the 8th. Could you go over?
Place where the work gets done. Work, that's the measure of a man. This is the home of America's best. This is the home of America's best. This is Red Man Land. Red Man Land. Red Man Land.
Introducing Chelada.
Yes. Tostitos brand has a new flavor.
Isn't that sweet?
No, zesty. New chilada. I thought you liked some.
How did you know?
I thought you like exciting Mexican seasonings on a crispy chip.
We do think alike.
Try 'em.
If you insist. New Chelada flavor, pepper, spices, and a touch of sour cream.
You like this new flavor, Fester?
It's very tasty.
This July, cheer America's athletes to victory in the first Goodwill Games in Moscow. See the games in person and tour the Soviet Union, all for one special price. You get round-trip airfare, first-class lodging, and 3 meals a day. Sightseeing, theater, museums, and shopping in Moscow and Leningrad. Goodwill Games tickets and more. Tickets are limited. Call General Tours now at 1-212-598-1800 for the Goodwill Games Tour. 1-212-598-1800.
Now you have a good reason to wake up early. Headline News at 6 a.m. Eastern on the Superstation tomorrow and every morning.
We're going to the 9th. Garber's a new pitcher. Howard Johnson will lead it off. It's 10-5. 14 hits for New York and 6 for Atlanta. Cincinnati 1, Montreal nothing. They're now in the 4th inning at Cincinnati. Yankees and Minnesota scoreless after 1. Baltimore and the White Sox also scoreless after 1. Let's see who hasn't a base hit for New York. No one of the starting 8, exclusive of the pitcher, has failed a hit. Curveball inside.
Well, they came in here leading the league in hitting. They were hitting .280 coming into tonight's ball game as a team.
Oops, I just found someone who hasn't gotten a hit. Carter. He has a sac fly and an RBI. He is 0 for 4. 1-0. Yeah, they got a good team batting average. And really, some of their sluggers in the middle haven't hit that many home runs. Strawberry's home run was his 2nd of the year, and you know he's going to hit 35 to 40, barring any sort of injury like he had last year.
They should give him about 1 1/4 for the one he hit here.
If you could cut it up into singles, his average would jump about 50 points. The 1-1. There's a let up inside. Another rocky outing for Rick Mailer. He went 4 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits and 4 runs. Pitchers of record right now are Bereni and McMurtry. McDowell gets him out for another inning. He would pick up a save for 3 good innings of pitching, despite the score.
And good should be underlined.
Yes.
He's been sharp tonight.
Foul tip. Did you discuss with Pete Davy Johnson, and he uses a computer to great advantage? I didn't realize that until I heard him on the leadoff man. But a lot of his moves are because of the computer. He feeds it information that he's obtained from his scouts and from other people.
Well, math majors will do that sort of thing.
He installed a dish, I believe, so that at Shea Stadium he can, when they're not playing, he can watch other games. I don't know if Dave Johnson has been given the credit for the type of manager he is. He has brought the fortunes of the New York Mets to their highest level in a long time. Went over to Japan for a while as a player. Played a number of years with the Orioles. And turned into a good manager.
I love that trivia stat on him. The man who was in the on-deck circle when Aaron broke Ruth's homer, and the man in the on-deck circle when Sadarahu, quote, unquote, with an asterisk, broke Babe Ruth's homer.
Another thing he does it his way. 2-2. Got him. Strikeout of Johnson by Garber. Now Roger McDowell. We hope that Tom Licata out in Las Vegas enjoys tonight's game. Never misses one. He's a good friend of the Braves. Pitches low.
Ernie, I've just been adding up things here. I believe this win tonight, if the Mets go on to win, would be the 200th in the last 2 years for Davy Johnson.
1 ball, 1 strike.
This would be win number 12 on the year, and he was 188 and 36. I think that's 200. I need his computer.
Yeah. 1-2. Phillies now lead Houston 7-1. They're in the 3rd. The curve outside. 2-2. Over third. Nice play by Obie. Throw is perfect. 2 away in the 9th. Glenn Dykstra had a base hit last time up, knocked in a run, stole a base. Airtime tomorrow night will be 7:35. That's our regular time. Dwight Gooden against Joe Johnson. Then back to 5:35 on Thursday. I'm kind of glad Gooden's throwing when it's a little darker tomorrow night, although due to daylight saving, it's still a little tough to see because it's not dark at 7:40. But if he were pitching at 5:40, I don't know out of the shadows whether anybody'd see the ball. 2-1. They still got to be concerned with Ron Darling, one of their starters. He's off to a tough start. He only went 3 2/3 innings and gave up 5 hits and 5 runs tonight, and ran through a stop sign trying to score. Thought he was running the ball back for the old Eli. Bula Bula. He was quite a football player for Yale.
Maybe he was hitting the head too many times on that play. Huh?
He ran right through the sign by the stop sign by third base coach. Bud Harrelson was shaking his head as he went by. Walk to Dykstra.
What a career Backman's had tonight.
Yep. I don't think Garber has to step off. I just don't feel that Dykstra will run. 10-5. One and off.
Unless he wants to add to those stats, he's 6 out of 6 stealing bases.
The Hawks and Celtics are next. Then tomorrow night, Dallas and the Lakers following the ball game.
Ernie, as you said, the Hawks don't tip it off till just about now, and as soon as something happens in that game, we'll pass it along, and we'll join it as soon as this ball game's over.
Throw to first, and he's back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tough throw for Virgil here as he's got the Dykstra in the batter's box, and he has to come over the top and go around the throw. As you can see, it's high throw down there. Throw right on the bag might have got Dykstra, but it's a tough play for the catcher with a left-handed batter in there.
Here's a 1-1. To first instead.
That stat you saw, excuse me, Ernie, on Dykstra said 5 for 5. That was coming into tonight's game. He did have a stolen base earlier tonight for 6.
It's Dallas tonight, isn't it? After the Laker game, after the Celtic game. Lakers and Dallas after the Hawks Celtics. Well, all right, then I'm just reading it wrong. That's tomorrow night. I've been saying it right all night. All right. All right. There's a bouncer cycle. That's it. We go to the bottom of the ninth, 10-5, New York.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
Puzzled about which airline has the best buy? Numbers are one thing, and Delta saves you up to 70%. A choice of destinations is another, and Delta has over 100. Then there's Delta's fleet of modern, spacious jets. Full service with no added charges. And best of all, personalized service from the Delta pros. Once you bring everything together, flying is no longer a puzzle. That is, if you fly Delta. Delta gets you there.
Remember last year I told you how great the season was going to be? Well, the Sporting News is all you need to stay on top of this season, which could be even better. Don't miss a single play, stat, strategy, or exciting moment. Order your half-price subscription to the Sporting News. Here's how.
Call 1-800-257-1234. You'll get 36 issues of the Sporting News for 3 payments of $5.99. That's the lowest price anywhere. Call 1-800-257-1234.
Terry Schroeder has his own telephone. He's our ambassador for the Goodwill Games. Nice to see you, Terry. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Mets with a comfortable 5-run lead. Billy Sample leads it off. Washington on deck. Sample up for the first time, batting in the 9 spot. Hawks and the Celtics to follow this ball game. Stay with us. We'll get to them as soon as possible. Driven along the line in right, down toward the corner. Foul. And 2. McDowell trying for his first save. Washington on deck. Here's the 0-2. Fouled away. Jesse Orozco, just in case. Strikeout of Sample. I'd say Roger McDowell's going to deserve a save. Outside corner, he's retired 7 in a row. Now Claudell Washington, who's walked, homered, walked, and walked again. It was his second homer of the year. He hit it in the 3rd inning. Only nice thing about the offense tonight is that home run by Claudell Washington won a Goodies contestant $750. It was the Goodies home run jackpot inning. That's on radio only. So someone's happy. Minnesota leading the Yankees 2-0. They're in the 3rd. Foul up by Willie Stargell. Ramirez is on deck. It's tomorrow night, the Lakers and the Mavericks. That'll follow our 7:40 Braves-Mets game. Now the 0-2. Fouled away. Tomorrow night we'll have our 4 announcers. Skip and John Sterling will be back also for Thursday. No balls and 2 strikes. And a pitch. Curve in the dirt. It's 14-14, the Hawks and the Celtics in the first quarter. I remarked the other night that Hawks should be rested, should have a better ball game tonight than Sunday when they went into that ball game after a double overtime on Friday. Two and two. The Hawks and Celtics will be here on Friday in Atlanta. Pitch is high. Three balls and 2 strikes. One out, bottom of the ninth. The Braves will be in Philadelphia Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then next week, Monday through Thursday, single games in Cincinnati before getting back to Atlanta. Now the 3-2 strikeout. The bottom fell out of this. Watch it. Down it goes. Fastball sinker. McDowell's had the Braves on his hip through 3 innings. 3, 6, 8 in a row been knocked off by the righty. Low and away. Fouled away. One ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1. Driven to right. Strawberry. Game's over. Final score, New York 10, Atlanta 5. 10-14-1 for the winning New York Mets. The Braves 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Bereni wins it 1-0. McMurtry loses it 0-1. McDowell gets his first save. See you tomorrow night.
Superstation WTBS has presented in stereo America's team, the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves baseball has been brought to you by Michelob Light, super premium taste and a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all? By Delta, the official airline of the Atlanta Braves. Delta gets you there. By the Coca-Cola Company and your local bottler of Coke and Coca-Cola Classic. By your Toyota dealer and the Toyota Celica. Performance and style that'll make you look real good. Who could ask for anything more? And by Canon. So advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. By CNN, the world's most important network and a proud sponsor of the 1986 Goodwill Games. And by Headline News, around the world every 30 minutes. Get the headline habit. Atlanta Braves Baseball is a production of TBS Sports.
Today, certain types of insurance are a must. If you don't carry auto insurance, who pays? You do. Without homeowners insurance, who pays? You do. If you're over 65 and on Medicare, as I am, and you don't have first-rate Medicare supplement insurance, who pays what Medicare doesn't? That's right, you do. And that's why you need secure care from National Home Life to help pay the bills Medicare doesn't. Take down this toll-free number while I show you how much you must pay even with Medicare in 1986. During the first 60 days of hospitalization, you pay $492. In the next 30 days, you pay up to $3,690. In the next 60 days, it jumps to $14,760. And believe it or not, if you have to stay in a hospital for 150 days, even with Medicare, you still have to pay
$18,942.
But when you have secure care, you pay nothing, not 1 penny of those expenses. Secure Care also continues to pay for 1 full year after Medicare stops. It also helps pay doctor, medical, and surgical bills outside the hospital. Now, I carry Secure Care myself. Let me show you how easy it is. You just dial this toll-free number.
Hello, Secure Care. May I help you?
Yes, I'd like more information on Secure Care, please.
Certainly. You too should call me at 1-800-257-1234. Give me your name and address, and I'll mail information on our new 1986 Medicare supplement. Or write Secure Care, Valley Forge, PA 19493. That's 1-800-257-1234.
TBS Sports presents the 1986 NBA playoffs, brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer, Miller Lite. By Renault Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA. By Menon Speed Stick Deodorant, gives you man-sized protection against perspiration odors. Let the wide stick give you the edge. By Rolaids, for acid indigestion or heartburn, Rolaids spells 100% relief. And by Delta Airlines, serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there.
Hello again, everybody. John Andre, Skip Carey with you from Boston. The Celtics lead 22-18 with 4.5 minutes left. First period of play, and John Koncak misses for the Atlanta team. The Hawks still control the ball. Leading scorers in the game, Wilkins and Whitman, 6 each for Atlanta. Bird, McHale, 8 each for Boston.
Hawks are shooting better than they did the other day. They've made half their shots so far. Boston, however, 11 out of 14 from the field.
In and out for Wilkins. Another